Hello and welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So today I'm going to be talking about a Caribbean romance, and it is Hurricane of the Heart by Jewel Amethyst. So I picked this book up at the Brooklyn Book Festival, and I was really excited because I was looking for a Caribbean romance, a true Caribbean romance, not a romance just basically only talks about going to a Caribbean island and going there for vacation, have romance, but like one a character or both characters are Caribbean, and this gave me that. So this is a story about a girl, and her name is Alia, and she is from the Dominica. So Dominica, it is of once was a French colony, so it is they speak Creole, and she is of a native culture, so what we will call in Caribbean a Carib. And so she is also working for the resorts where they have numerous weddings. In this case, you have an American wedding there where a young guy, he's a part of the wedding planet party, and he's a bit of a rebellion in his family. His family, what you would say, they're well off. They do have a successful business, and but he's always done the opposite of whatever is expected of him. So he's often looked at as typically as he's just not responsible. He's just gonna do whatever. And in this case, it does happen that that's what happened. He is at a wedding. There is a hurricane in the forecast. So they had to move the wedding up, and as soon as the wedding was over, pretty much there was no honeymoon period for the couple that actually was getting married. They had to leave the island immediately because there was a category, I believe it was 4 or 5 at the time, was coming to be, it was going to be a direct hit to the island. So everyone was able to get off except for him, because he decided that he wanted to go out on a night and have a good time, and did not get back in time to even leave the island. At the point where he did finally get back and he realized how severe the situation was, it was too late. He was stuck. This is the part of the book that I love the most, because there are several events that happen, and he ended up at the woman that was doing the party planning, basically the wedding planner, at her house, her grandmother's house, in a small remote part of the island that is the poorest and also the most reserved as far as natural habitat. But it's clear that the houses in that area cannot withstand this kind of hurricane. But however, things happen and they got stuck. And you get to see what really happens in a hurricane, of losing your roof, of trees falling down, of roads being completely destroyed, mudslide, and people seeking shelter wherever they can, often in schools. Often your neighbor is over your house because maybe your neighbor's house was completely destroyed and you have to stay there. So he is now in an environment like that where everything is basically dire. Your food is just not there like you used to. You're living off canned food. You're living off basically whatever fruits and vegetable that didn't get destroyed in the hurricane. And he had to be humble and had to soak in the experience, which actually changed him in a way that he needed it in order to grow and to be a better person. However, where the story changed is not what I expected, because it went from he was able to survive and deal with the hardship of her world, because this hurricane really devastated the entire island, was completely destroyed. And this book was published, the published date is 2015, which is ironic because they had a hurricane 2 years later in 2017 that was completely worse, that actually did destroy the island. So it's kind of like, did she foresee that? That kind of reaction I was getting from reading this. However, things happen. She wanted more out of life, and she's like the main character is this woman that seen what a lot of women in her family and the things they have experienced, and she didn't want that. She wanted to have a career, she wanted to be successful, she wanted to have an education, and she didn't want to be involved with any man. And just imagine this guy seeing how she was in a hurricane, how strong she was and how helpful she was, and he fell for her. He saw her more than just this beautiful exotic looking woman in his eyes. She was more than that, and he wanted her to be a part of his world. So when he introduced her to his world, it was a completely different story. It was not what she expected, because his world is full of money, it's full of manipulation, it's full of all these things that she has never experienced. And she was, in an island, living a simple life and surviving, and didn't want to be in his world, and but also wanted to be with him. So there's that struggle that was going on, but there was so much drama. His family is drama. So if you're into romance with drama, this is the book, because it was, I never read a romance in a long time that has so much twist and turn, that felt like a movie, like a TV series with the rich, the have and the have-nots. So, I had that feeling for this book where I'm like, what the hell? What I do say is I do like how she added in the culture. There's certain Creole slangs that was sprinkled in the story. And there's certain history of the island that was in the story that I really appreciated too. And how close-knit some islands are, Antigua and Trinidad and Barbados. There's certain things that are that connects these islands, as far as like education, as far as certain things that they can do. Because a lot of these smaller islands are, when I say they are small, they are really small. So they depend on each other for various things, and I like that part. The thing I didn't care for in this book, I don't like the cover. It's the first thing. Let's talk about the cover. She went into detail about what the characters look like. This ain't it. She's supposed to be a native. No. The cover also looked like it was taken back in like 1996. This book came out in 2015. You can tell by the outfits, because I had something similar like that back in the day. So I'm thinking like, why is the cover, and because I love the story, like the cover just takes away from it. That I think a lot of people won't even pick this up because they're looking at the cover thinking, oh, okay. I'm not a cover snob. I do read books that the cover are not great, but I just was like, we need a cover redo, please. Also, throughout the story, the writing. She has really good writing. She writes more like a literary fiction author than actually romance to me. You could tell with her writing. And she did that the entire book. And then when she gets to like the very last few pages, she decides she want to throw a slang in there that I haven't heard again since 1990 something. Maybe, like, we're talking single digit age. I haven't heard nobody say no crap like that. So it makes me feel like this book was written a long time ago, and when it finally was able to publish, she didn't kind of go, she should have went through and make sure she removed some of the stuff to make it modern, if that's the intention of the storyline, was to be modern. It wasn't intended to be a 1990 something book. So that's the part that I was just like, what? And I laugh. I'm sorry, but I laugh. I laugh so hard because I'm like, what happened here? Like, why we threw that in? So, yeah, I was laughing. Other than that, I love this. It was nice. It was definitely a romance that wasn't too sexual. It wasn't, it didn't bore me, because especially the first half where you had all those things that was happening after the hurricane, like what happened during the hurricane and after. And also it had little flashback memories, because I experienced one hurricane which also hit Dominica. It also hit Dominica the same year. So I know the feeling of, the aftermath. Them damn canned food. And you tired of canned food, and the running water and the lights and having to deal with that. and you know, the politics of certain neighborhood getting fast service, and you know, the poor neighborhood, you know, you're the last to look at. So I like that she kept it authentic in that, because that really does happen a lot of time in islands that where hurricane hit, you know, where they're quick to show you the touristy area first and make it seem like the island's back to normal, where you have the very poor area that haven't been touched. So I do like that. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. If you need like a little spice in your life, and you need a little Caribbean romance, definitely pick this up. I do like this, and I want to read more. So if you know any more true romance, not the ones I've had recommendation, they weren't really romance, you know, to me, but this is a romance novel, and you know, I want a true romance novel. So yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day. Bye.